Most businesses right now are using AI at the wrong level. If you're a business owner and you're trying to figure out how to utilize AI to the best of your business's ability, or you haven't yet put any type of AI in your business and you're trying to figure out how, this is the video for you. If you wait till the end of the video, I'm going to tell you how to leave a comment in the format that I specify, and I will do a personalized mini audit on that specific problem in my next video. This is something I do for every paid engagement of mine, and I can charge anywhere between $4,000 and $10,000 depending on the business. Remember to wait till the end so you see the format that I will reveal here. So going straight into things, there are 3 tiers of using AI within a business. Now, if you are a level 1, you will be using something like ChatGPT, and you will maybe have a document of saved prompts that you share within your business and copy and paste over and over again. The bottleneck is still you. That's the only problem with this. Yes, you are saving time, but if you are not around to do the copying and pasting, then the whole workflow is paused. Now, the ceiling for this can vary depending on your niche, but I am going to pencil it in at $25K a month. It could be lower, it could be higher. It also depends on your overall operations and how dialed in they are. Level 2 is Zapier, Make, NAN, these kind of no-code or low-code automation tools. This is the first step into actually adding operations into your business. You can take those copied and pasted workflows and ChatGPT prompts that you have and let the system do it for you based on certain triggers. Now, the only issue with these tools is that you have to bend around the tool. They are made to be easy, they're made to be quickly learnt, and they're made for either business owners, founders, or head of operations to be able to actually pick these tools up themselves. Now, at the lower end, you've got tools like Make, Zapier. They're a little bit simpler. The limitations are higher, obviously. NAN, you get a bit more complex. You can go into a bit more detail. You can start to use code, JavaScript. Again, you're still working around the tools, and I've ran around the limitations of these tools multiple times. By building these workarounds, you end up having to dilute the actual automation that you want to do, which isn't ideal. It may work, it may be better than your current situation, but you're still adding workaround debt. Level 3 is the custom AI solutions. This is the purpose built for your ops from the ground up using pure code. They're fully automated or partially fully automated with a single human in the loop step. This allows you to completely unlock your capacity and scale without hiring anyone new. Now, our job at One Click Systems is to take you from anywhere from 0 to 2 to level 3. This is the end goal. You will, when you finished or you continue working with us, you will be at level 3, and we will continue working to iterate on this level 3 system because these workflows improve so quickly. They improve. These models that come out, they update every week, every month, and even as someone who dedicates hours a day to just purely researching the latest models, the latest data, the latest workflows, the latest tricks, the latest prompting techniques, these tools develop so fast that someone who isn't fully dedicated to them can fall behind. And with the capacity that you unlock using some of these new features that get added, this could be the difference between becoming the industry authority or just falling behind as another average agency, business, software, etc. Now, to figure out which level you are, it's pretty simple. You start, where are you with AI? Are you using any tools at all? If not, you're level 0. If you're using just prompts, ChatGPT, even if you're using Claude, if you're using Gemini, they're all the same. This is where you're at and you don't have anything in place, you're copying and pasting, you're level 1. If you are using tools and softwares like Make, N8N, Zapier, then you need to make a second question to yourself is, are you having issues with it? Are you clicking through these tools, finding out that either you're struggling to implement the solution you want or it can't do it? Then you're at the bottleneck of level 2. If you find that they're working for you and you're okay, then you're comfortably in level 2. But you've got to watch out as you scale and add things to your business. Are you going to smoothly go to level 3? Or are you going to find out that all of this time you invested in these no-code tools now have to be completely redone from scratch? Now, that's not necessarily a problem. It's not necessarily a bad thing. It's what I run into with almost every one of my clients. We have the processes and workflows to transition you from level 2 to level 3. But if you're at the stage where say you have the capacity to go straight to level 3, but you're at level 1, there's no point doing level 2. If you have the revenue and the budget to fully automate these tools from scratch in a bespoke way from the get-go, you are going to have a much smoother time scaling and growing your business. If you are using custom solutions and you're already level 3, I'm not sure why you're here, hello, but otherwise, if you're having problems with these custom solutions, this is where we can also help. Now, just give an example of how this works. Let's say you start at level 1, you're copying and pasting these solutions in. Let's say at the end of a sales call, every time a sales call finishes, you go into your tool of choice. Maybe it's Fireflies, maybe it's Fathom. You go click on the tabs, copy the transcript, go into your ChatGPT, hit paste, then you go into your documents, whether you save them or you have an agent that you've built in ChatGPT or a project in Claude. Then you might have to copy and paste a couple prompts yourself, how you want it to process. Then you let it run, you check the output. You may need to do a couple tweaks to make sure that it's all properly aligned, and then you use it for whatever your purpose is. Maybe you put it into your Slack for your sales team to handle. You put it into in Google Sheets to log into your CRM or whatever. There's a lot of steps that you're doing to obviously facilitate that process manually. And if this is a business you're trying to grow, and especially if you're still in the sales side of things, you are wasting a lot of time here. This is something that is, again, it's all in your head, and maybe you can teach it to other people in your business and other people in the sales team, but then you are risking the danger of relying on your team to be able to properly understand the prompting and why the prompt is being done this way, what to expect on the outputs, what to look out for watch outs, etc. But again, you will reach a bottleneck with this and you will run into issues. So the next step after that is to go up to level 2, where you start to incorporate these tools that connect to Fathom, to Fireflies, and as soon as a call is finished, it downloads the transcript, it uploads it to your CRM if you have, again, an API connection. If you don't know what an API connection is, it's basically like plugging in, it's the way software speaks. So you get the transcript, that comes in, and we move that into your CRM of choice, and then everything's connected. That's a couple of steps removed. That could save even 5, 10, 15 minutes per call. And if you have a 15-minute gap between your calls, you now get to dedicate all that time into preparing for the next call. Simple implementations that can have a massive impact on your close rate, for example. The next ceiling you're going to hit, though, is this workaround that sometimes when you're working through these tools, you will realize that certain things aren't possible. If they are possible, you have to do really weird connections with the nodes and plug things in a certain way where it eventually does work, but it's a bit risky, and sometimes it may not work. It may not do everything you exactly wanted it to do, and again, you're still having to do some parts manually. This is when you need to transition into level 3. This is where these bespoke systems can really shine, and one of the biggest ways it can shine is in CRMs. When you're using these tools that are made to cover a lot of bases and a lot of situations like Airtable, Go High Level, HubSpot, Notion, you are using a one-size-fits-all solution, and in a certain point in your business, when you're scaling, these one-size-fits-all solutions end up being a bottleneck. This is when you need to think about completely transitioning over to this custom solution. And once you have a custom CRM, what that enables you to do is actually filter out all the noise. You get to then have a system that every bit of information you see on your screen or your team sees on your screen is highly relevant. It's highly customized. It is completely bespoke to your workflow, that you're not wasting any of your brain's capacity on information that isn't relevant. And you may think that maybe this isn't a big deal, but over the course of scaling a business and adding team members, every bit of data that is on a screen that isn't relevant to exactly what they're doing is going to create confusion. It's going to create context switching. It's going to add a lot of just mental debt, which you maybe works at a lower scale, but if you want to grow your business to millions of dollars a year or a month, these kind of things are the things you need to get sorted out straight away and as soon as possible. It's going to add up the more you scale, right? So if you have 10 people in your sales team, maybe these little delays maybe only add up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hours a week. But as you scale your sales team to maybe 20, 30, 50, you're going to then multiply that time, and that could be the equivalent of 10 extra salespeople working on your staff. It could be the equivalent of doubling your entire sales team at some points when these automations get sophisticated enough. You can start getting into the possibilities are endless when you start going down these custom AI systems and bespoke CRM solutions. So it's something to keep in mind when you are trying to move through this progression tree. As some examples there's some symptoms that you may be feeling when you're trying to work with AI and incorporate it into your business. Common one is, it's not saving me time. This is a common level 1 symptom. You are still doing a lot of the manual work. You might know about Make, Zapier, N8N, but the common thought is just, I don't have time for this, right? When you're trying to scale a business, trying to figure this stuff out is hard. It's not easy. As much as you see on social media almost all the time, oh, I've got this AI agent, I got OpenClaw to build me a $5,000 a month business overnight while I was in my pants in my room, drinking Red Bull and eating Doritos. Like, people on social media make this sound a lot easier than it is. You're going to see a lot of posts just because they want to go viral. You're going to see a lot of posts and a lot of replies of people really feeling that FOMO and feeling like they're missing out. You've got to be careful not to fall into these traps. You've got to focus on diagnosing the symptoms you're feeling, looking at which stage you're at, level 0, 1, 2, and figure out how to get to the next level. So your first step at this level 1 is figuring out these basic tools like Make, Zapier, N8N, and figuring out, where do I start? Now, this will be the next topic, or the topic of the next video, on how to actually diagnose what order to do these solutions in. This is what I go through live with my clients when they pay me for these personalized AI audits, but that's for the next video. Another example is, we're automated but you still can't scale. This is stuck at level 2. This is a tool ceiling hit and you're running into the workaround there. So you're automating systems, but they're not working. Now, this also has a secondary diagnosis where you may just be automating the wrong things. Again, why the audit is so important, and not to get caught up in social media FOMO. You will see posts of people implementing systems into their business and you will think you need it. A lot of the times you do not, and you have to really work from the beginning. If you're kind of at a fake level 1, you think you're automating systems and you're improving your operations, but the order matters more than the implementations themselves. Again, this will be another video where we go into consolidating data to make sure that these systems can actually automate properly. Otherwise, you will just be automating rubbish. You will be automating broken systems, and that is worse than just not automating anything at all. So another thing to watch out for. Now, growth means hiring. Every new client means a new person. Margins compress. You are at level 2 and your ops aren't built around your logic. The tool dictates your process. Now, what does this mean? This means that you have tools in place. You may be using Make, you may be using Make and Zapier, but you're just finding that you're still having to scale to use these tools. And what I mean scale, I mean bringing new employees on. This can be a bunch of symptoms, but you are usually hitting the limits of these automation tools and these pre-made CRM systems like ClickUp, Google Sheets, Notion, Airtable. You have to work around the tools to make the tools work for you. And a lot of the times, this is where the bespoke solution really shines. You, again, only see the data you need. These systems can communicate to each other exactly how you need it to. You're not limited to these pre-made connections. And that's what takes you from level 2 to level 3, where you start to get that 3, 4, 5, 10 times capacity without hiring anyone new. Once these bespoke systems are in place, the automations are also a lot easier to add because you are not, again, working around the tools. The tools work for you. Now, if this all sounds well and good, but you are still confused and you don't have the time to figure this out yourself, here is what I'm going to do for you, and I'm going to do for you for every video going forward. I want you to take this exact format, fill it out based on what you've listened to in the video, put the level you're at, put the one problem that you think is the biggest problem you're currently facing in your business, what tools you're currently using, and where you think it breaks. If you're not sure about the last one, don't worry, we can figure it out. And what I'm going to do in between every one of these explanation videos, I'm going to do a comments breakdown video where I break down all of the comments, the problems that they're having, and exactly how I would solve this in a real audit that I would do for a client. It's obviously going to be a mini personalized one because it's a specific issue. In the real audits that we do for the businesses and the clients that we work with, these can go to 10, 15, 20 separate bottlenecks that we identify and put into a phase system. Just to go over some examples here, level 1 as an STR operator, guest messaging take 45 minutes per property per week. Currently no tools to facilitate this, and they forget which stage each guest is at. Now, by the sound, just straight off the bat, this sounds like a CRM problem. we have texts coming in, they're not linked up to any kind of database automatically coming to the system. They have to be manually copied and pasted. You need a system that is going to then take these texts, connect to the API of wherever you're receiving them, connect that to the CRM where we're doing a lookup to match the phone number to the entry in the CRM, and then it's going to do an AI analysis step where it adjusts, it figures out what's going on and then forwards that onto the relevant person. Now you can get it to a step further this, where you can almost go straight to step 3 and have a bespoke AI agent that digests the information and actually can facilitate texting managers. It can text technicians, it can query the availability of technicians and determine whether the appropriate technicians are available, and if not, actually forward this on to a separate tool that looks up a Google search around the area of the property to see if any higher rated technician services are available, and then reach out via email. So again, you can really go complex in these systems that are going to save a ton of time, especially at scale. And again, I reiterate, these problems really impact mostly at scale. The higher the revenue you're earning, the more savings you're going to make. Some of our clients are earning over $100,000 a month, and these savings quantify to millions in a year. Going to level 2, this is an agency owner with 22 clients. The problem is the client reporting takes 3 hours a client and it's inconsistent. They're currently using Looker Studio and every client has different KPIs. So this causes a lot of time to be invested into researching the data, copying and pasting it appropriately into the report, and generating the correct metrics based on the individual client KPIs, which are probably stored again in a CRM. Now, this is a level 1 work in a level 2 jacket. So what this means is it feels like they're probably at a level 2 because they have these tools in place, but they're still doing a lot of manual work. Now, a real level 2 would have a system in place where the client report gets generated on autopilot every week. It takes the API connection to the data storage if this is stored already somewhere and it's automatically being poured into one place. Otherwise, if there is no current solution for that, then now that becomes the priority. These automation tools don't matter if the data is in a centralized, synced up database. If you do not have that, you are wasting a lot of time skipping this step and having to gather the data automatically from all of these separate pods of information all into one spot for then the data to analyze. And you don't want to be doing that and facilitating that connection for every single automation going forward. The solution, once you build this centralized database, is you can add a AI assistant / chatbot, which predominantly you see named as a co-pilot, where you can actually just talk to this chatbot that's linked up to this database that is synced up to everything, and you can just make natural language questions like you would to a human being. Say if you had an assistant that was managing this database, real human being, you pay them to do this. You can message them at any point of the day and say, hey, I need a report on the last 2 weeks compared to maybe 2 weeks prior. I want to see how the CPAs have changed because they look a bit odd this week. It would go in, the human would then go into the database, gather all that information, copy and paste it into the tools that he's using to build the graphs, etc. This AI agent could do this now for you 24/7, never takes a holiday, never gets ill, never makes a mistake, because the connections are made and facilitated into a database already. This is the power of level 2 and level 3. Now, for this example here, a property maintenance company is doing 180 jobs a month. Their job changes don't reach field staff. They're currently using Airtable and WhatsApp, and there is no automatic bridge. It's manual propagation. So if there is a situation where there's an emergency and say there's a gas leak or there is a pipe burst, you have the risk of no person being there to immediately forward that data off. Again, similar to this STR operator, you could have an agent that automatically triages the problems coming in based on a SOP that is built for the company already. It can do all of the contacts automatically. It can message the appropriate people. It can put flags in the CRM system. It can do research in Google if no one is there to do it. These are the kind of the power you get at level 2 to level 3, and these are where such massive savings are made. But to facilitate level 3 automations and systems, You need the foundations, and this is what the audit is all about. You have to start from the beginning. You cannot skip all the way to putting these automations in place without the data in place. So if you want this done for you for a specific problem in your business, leave a comment down below in this format. The next video will be going over every single one if I have the time and I don't get flooded with loads, which I imagine I won't be because this is my first video. But leave this down in the comments, and if it's just one, you're going to get a very detailed breakdown. If there's a couple, again, they're going to be pretty expansive. So as these get more popular, these are going to have to get shorter. So get in early if this is what you want. And if you want a more in-depth audit after that, feel free to contact me. One Click Systems. All of the contact details and booking link is below in the description. Thanks for watching.